You figured it out the same way you figured out most things, on your own, without a manual, without anyone sitting you down and walking you through it. That's just how it was for your generation. Nobody called it parenting philosophy. You just showed up and did what needed to be done. And yet, for all the things your generation got wrong, or didn't say, or didn't know how to say, fatherhood was the single most rewarding thing in their lives. Not the career, not the house, not the truck in the driveway. The kids. Even when you didn't say it out loud, especially then. Gen X fathers operated on a different model than the generation before them, and a different one than the generation that came after. Your fathers worked. That was the deal. You showed up, you provided, you didn't complain. Emotions were private. Problems were handled. Love was in the act of staying, not in the saying. You watched that model. You absorbed it. And then, quietly, you decided to do something different, even if you weren't quite sure how. Your generation was wired for certain habits, ones passed down without permission, without explanation. You saw fathers who kept their distance, fathers who showed up at games but never sat with you afterward, fathers who never cried in front of you, never said the words, never made the first move towards closeness. You carried that into your own fatherhood, and even when you intellectually rejected all of that, the patterns still show up. You find yourself going quiet when things get hard. You find yourself fixing instead of listening. You find yourself walking away when the conversation gets too emotional, because nobody ever taught you what to do when it did. You're not broken. You're just running old software on a new operating system. The difference between your father and you, as sitting still and just listening, is enormous. You stayed in the room. You sat at the table. You let them talk, even when you didn't know what to say back. That silence, that willingness to just be there, that's not nothing. For a lot of kids, that's everything. And he promised himself, standing in those bleachers, watching, that he would be there for every single one. Not just the big ones, not just graduation or the championship game. All of them. The Tuesday afternoon practices, the bad games, the games where nobody scored. You showed up. That's the whole story sometimes. You just showed up. But showing up doesn't erase the damage. And this is the hard part. The part that keeps you up at night, maybe. The things you said when you were stressed, the times you checked out, the moments you replicated the very thing you swore you wouldn't. Good intentions don't rewrite history. They're real, and they matter, but they don't cancel out the moments when you came up short. What they do is give you something to stand on when you decide to go back and do better. You come from men who barely use the word love out loud. Men for whom affection was a handshake at best. Men who showed they cared by fixing your car, not by telling you they were proud of you. Men who felt it, they absolutely felt it, but had no language for it. You inherited their silence. You're still learning to break it. This is the moment, not tomorrow. Not when things calm down, not when the kids are older. This is the moment you decide what kind of story this is going to be. You can't change what happened before today, but today is still happening. The phone works. The door is right there. The words are harder than anything you've ever done, and they're worth it. You know how to figure things out on your own. You've been doing it your whole life. Figure this out.